Welcome, everybody, to the Talk Bout podcast. Even though this ain't the podcast, this is Talk Bout Jiu Jitsu. And today we have a great guest. He will be competing on the main card of the Talk Bout Tournament One event. He will be competing against Joe Russo this Saturday night. He is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu Purple Belt, Jahn. Kyle, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, man. So obviously, when we announced this match, it was supposed to be you against Brazilian Jiu Jitsu Purple Belt, Jake Bryan. And Jake unfortunately got hurt pretty early in that announcement. But I just wanted to ask you, what was your initial thoughts when Jake pulled out of the match? Were you worried if we were going to be able to get a replacement opponent for you? And when we did in Joe Russo, did that affect your mindset for the match at all?
I didn't have any doubt you'd find someone for me to roll with. In regards of Joe, my mindset's still the same as it would have been for my other opponent. Same tactics, same style. I have to go with a wrestle and roll my way, and that's how I take it. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Now, obviously, Jake was a more technical guy. Now, I don't know too much about Joe Russo, but what I do know is he trains at a very good gym, and he's obviously on the purple belt level. Do you feel like that the wrestling it's just going to overpower almost anyone that steps in your way, especially at this level? Obviously, you have a very high-level wrestling skill set behind you, and now that you've gotten into jiu-jitsu, I think that it can't be remiss that you do know your jiu-jitsu too. I saw that on your finishers match. You had a heel hook victory, and it's definitely got to be put out there that the jiu-jitsu is there too. But do you feel like the wrestling it's just going to help you too much in this match and in future matches in the future?
It's just going to help me overall. I feel comfortable in a lot of different positions that I would say some jiu-jitsu people don't necessarily feel comfortable in. People have to decide whether they're going to pull guard or they're going to wrestle with me. And the way that I'm going to see it is most people are going to pull guard. So I've got some highly decorated guys in my room that are guard pullers for me, so I get to practice that aspect of things a lot. They kind of stepped up these past few weeks and went to the wrestling side with me. So just because I don't look up who I have or what I have to do or what Joe is bringing to the table. Like I said, I got what I have, and I'm going to bring that to the table, and they have to figure me out.
Yeah, do you feel like that when you do go against someone, like maybe this happened in the beginning of your journey in jiu-jitsu, but when someone plays guard against you, does that frustrate you? Maybe not now that you're at a higher level, but maybe in the beginning. Like obviously you can take down 99.9% of people in the room, but when they do play guard, especially in the beginning of your journey, was that frustrating? Because for me, when I started, it was very frustrating for me.
Yeah, I would say it was. So the way that my journey started is I was the smallest one in the room, so I had a bunch of monsters I had to roll with for a while. So I think the smallest person besides myself was maybe 205. I'm not sure off the bat. So they wrestled with me. We wrestled, and then as our team grew and whatnot, we added some lightweight guys, and they got into the leg lock positions and boot scoot and things of that sort. And it took me a while to get comfortable into that position. Still there?
Yeah, still there.
It took me a while to feel comfortable being in those positions, and I've only been at this I think almost 4 years, but took some time off during COVID. So I came back pretty hard this last November, and my leg lock and boot scoot positions have came a rise, I guess you could say. So, I feel comfortable where I'm at. I definitely like to be on my feet, but if we have to go where someone else wants to go, then I'm very comfortable in being there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, obviously, there is tons of 155 guys now on the card. I'm not sure if you just saw. We just made this announcement, but unfortunately, both of the women's matches on our card had to get pulled due to travel difficulties, and we just added a match between Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt Cole Cameron, who competes in New Jersey, and he's a former wrestler himself, which would be such a fun matchup if we can see this in the future. He will be competing against Chad Johnson, who is a white belt, but who I've been told is really a blue belt, but took time off. So they stepped in. When there's all these different 155 guys, obviously the Talk Bout Jiu Jitsu middleweight title is on the line between Cockhold and Kelly. We are looking at which championship would be next. And if you were to look at it, There's so many 155 guys. Would a match between yourself and Jake again in the future, if you get past Russo, interest you again? And maybe even a Cole Cameron or a Chad Johnson if he's able to upset him as well. Would that be a possibility? I know you got to focus on Joe now, and I know that you don't want to look over him, but is a championship, being the inaugural champion in this promotion, would that be something that would interest you?
Let's roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my background, I like to win. Championships are always fun to have and put them on your belt and on your waist and go from there. I've just, kind of heavily gotten competing this past year, and I'd like to keep going with it. So the more opportunity there is closer to the home front, the better.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, obviously, like I said, guys, talkboutpodcast.com for your tickets. You guys can see Kyle Jahn go head-to-head with Joe Russo. It is the second match on the main card. It's going to be an absolutely incredible match. I'm so excited to see how that match goes, especially with the styles. And it seems like there is tons of things that could happen in the 155 pound division in Talk Bout Jiu Jitsu, especially with the cards to come. So, Kyle, thank you so much for all your support. Obviously, you've put a lot of support behind the scenes, but even on screen on social media, been like the most grappler who's been posting about it the most and been talking about the grind. And it seems like you've almost had like a training camp per se, which I like to do when I compete, and I'm sure other people are doing it too. But it just seems like you've been extremely dialed in. So excited to see you this weekend. The weigh-ins on Friday. I'll see you then. And yeah, guys, talkboutpodcast.com for the tickets. See Kyle Jahn. And Kyle, thank you so much for doing this. I really, really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You as well.